Welcome back to another episode of the Crime Scene Insiders. I'm one of your hosts, Angela Davies, and I'm here with my co-host, Dion Watson, and we're going to take you back under the barrier tape.
Today's episode is a very special one because it is our 1 year anniversary. Woohoo!
We made it!
We did. We can't quite believe it, but we're here. We sat down over a year ago with our mics and our headphones, and we didn't really have a clue what we were doing, but we started all the same.
We did. We still really don't know what we're doing. Still not quite sure yet.
Yeah, just
but we're
muddling
muddling
our way through.
It is pretty good to say we're not sure what's going on.
I don't know how it's quite a year either. It's absolutely flown over.
It really has, hasn't it? And what a year it's been as well. We've had an amazing year.
We have. We've had some fantastic guests on the show over that year. We've had everyone from forensic scientists, CSIs, police officers, victims' families, victims themselves. And we're just really honoured that those people have chose to come on the show and share their stories with us, aren't we?
Yeah, it is a real honour and really humbling because when some of these guests have come on, it's been right at the very beginning and the show's been in its infancy, yet they've trusted us to tell their stories. And that is really precious. And I think we're really grateful for that, aren't we?
We are. So a massive thank you to all of our guests who've come on and joined us and, like Ange said, let us share their stories.
Yeah, and it's been really fascinating for us because we're so passionate about crime scene and forensics. We still absolutely love the subject, don't we? And to hear other people's experiences and other people's stories, that in itself for us has just been lovely. And
yeah,
some of them have been a bit heart-wrenching and heartbreaking. Some of them have been hilarious.
yeah.
I think we recognise that this dark sense of humour is thankfully not just us.
Yeah, a few people seem to have it. A lot of people actually in the field definitely have it, don't they?
They really do. And it's fortunate for us because we were starting to worry about us.
Yeah.
We need some therapy.
Always.
Yeah. It's nothing to do with this.
Yeah, usually not to do with the work. But for us, it is that peek under the barrier tape. We're still getting to go underneath that and see some of these stories ourselves. So not only are guests taking the guests there, they're taking us on that journey with them as well, aren't they? Which we love.
That's exactly it. Oh my goodness. So we're doing what we said we'd do, going under the barrier tape. Hitting that tagline all over the place.
We are. And I love that a few of our guests have actually woven that into their stories as well and made sure they got the line into.
Yeah, a few people have, haven't they?
Yeah.
Which again, we really appreciate. Marketing, branding.
Get the brand, get the branded in, get the branded in.
I'm like that. Where's mine? Where's mine?
Where's my cup?
For people who are only listening on audio, we actually have Crime Scene Insiders mugs.
We do.
So for this week's episode, what we decided to do was make it all about us. It's our anniversary, our 1 year special.
Yeah. Well, it's true, isn't it?
But one of the reasons that we wanted to start this podcast was to take people under the barrier tape, and because we absolutely love the subject, as we've discussed over and over. And one of the things that we've also talked about is the way that crime scene forensics works, or crime scene investigation works, in that usually you go out solo unless you work in a major investigation. However, Dee and I actually went to quite a number of jobs together. There was a couple of reasons for it. Sometimes when it's quiet, you could go out double crewed, especially if it was late at night or you're going to a dodgy area. Yeah. And our shift patterns were very similar, so we did that. But also I'd had a surgery and was coming back from that surgery into work, so I had to be double crewed for a while because of health instruction, essentially. Yeah. So we got to do quite a few jobs together. And I suppose we've been friends since uni and we were already friends, but some of these jobs really cemented our humour, our bond. I suppose some of the joy, really, didn't it? I don't know if that's the right word.
Yeah, it
Oh,
is though, like we've said on here before, that you've got to have that sense of humour within here. You've got to be able to maybe not take things so seriously, and you've got to be able to let off steam. And a lot of that is through laughter in this job and profession, isn't it?
it is. So when you get to go double crewed with one of your best mates who's also got a twisted sense of humour, it does bring some joy.
It really does. We've had some laughs over the years, haven't we?
We really have. So we thought rather than dedicating it to one specific case, what we might do is look at a number of cases that we worked on together where we actually went double crewed. I'm just hoping that there's a couple that's inappropriate for airing. To be honest, I'm like, we're saying this out loud now and then I'm like,
How many are appropriate? So again, I think we said in one of our very first episodes that really you need to be able to take things not so seriously and have a little bit of a dark sense of humor to listen to this podcast.
Well,
and I
yeah, there is that.
and I would say this episode is one of those.
Maybe we should put an apology in now. Very sorry if anybody's offended. No disrespect was meant in the making of this video.
So, where did we begin? We have got so many stories and so many jobs that we have went out together where we have had an absolute laugh for one reason or
Or
another.
another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we don't want to give them all away today either. You've got to keep coming back to hear more of them.
Yes, might only tell a few today. Keep it short and sweet.
Yeah, yeah.
I think we should start with the knuckle. We've told quite a few people about this. We've told it in our lectures because we were not expecting to find this at the crime scene at all, were we? It was a basic crime scene. It was what would be considered a boring job.
Yeah,
Nobody wanted it.
yeah,
Everybody was kind of holding back in the office. It was quite quiet, and we were like, we'll go down, we'll have a trundle out.
yeah. We did. It was a great one, this. So this came in as a criminal damage, didn't it?
Yeah.
It was a criminal damage where somebody had broke an interior door within kind of a flat complex. And it was the glass panel that's in one of those doors. So you can kind of see into the corridor, it lets some light through. But within this glass panel, it had kind of like chicken wire, isn't it, through it?
Yeah, it's like a security door, so it was a wire mesh running through it, wasn't it?
That's it, yeah. So it came in as a criminal damage, but there wasn't any other information on the log, was there? That was all we were told.
Very little criminal damage to an internal security door inside a block of flats. That was it, wasn't it?
Yeah. Which blows my mind when we got to the scene what was actually there.
Yeah, on reflection.
That's all it came in as. So a lot of people aren't really as bothered about jobs like this because it's usually you go out, you just take some photographs. You can potentially take a glass sample in case somebody's arrested close by. But there's not really a lot usually to do at these, is there?
Yeah.
So we trundle up in our little van, get out, get our camera kit out, get our way into the flats and have a look. And actually, there's quite a lot of blood at the scene, first
There was
of all.
a lot of blood, a lot more than we were expecting. We were like, this is a bit more than criminal damage, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. Is somebody okay?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Yeah, it was just weird that the caller who'd rang it in hadn't mentioned, and there's blood all over.
I know.
So we get there anyway, and we've took some photographs. We're having a look, obviously take a swab of the blood. Brilliant for us to get our offender and identification potentially of who's caused the damage. And then we look at the pile of glass that's on the floor. And we're looking, thinking, what on earth is that? Something's lying on top of the little pile of glass. We weren't quite sure what it was. I'm gloved up, so I bend over, pick it up, and I've got it on my glove, having a little look. And then we were both a bit flabbergasted, weren't we?
I think it's one of the lovely things of working with Dee. It's always a shocking surprise. Ange, you seen this?
Whenever either of us hears the other one's voice like that, so I quite often will get D or Dion.
Dion.
And when I get that, I know Angie is absolutely shocked by something. So just that tone gives her a chuckle usually.
Yeah.
So anyway, show Ange what I've got in my hand. It's a knuckle. And it was so bizarre, wasn't it? So when somebody's been punching this glass to break it, we think potentially the knuckle's caught on the wire grid within, and it's sheared off the knuckle. So that whole bit of knuckle skin was just sat there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a really weird thing to see, actually, just a whole knuckle on the floor
Yeah,
or a whole knuckle then in your hand.
yeah, in my hand.
But we were like, okay, this is great. All we need to do is phone the OIC and get them to phone around a couple of hospitals. And if they've got anyone in with a missing knuckle, ta-da!
There you go. We don't even need to analyse any DNA for this one.
Cost us nout. Just need to do a physical fit for his knuckle.
Oh God, could you imagine? Oh God, that goes right through me because even like a little cut on your fingers or a cut over your knuckle, how painful is that anyway? Sort of sheared that whole skin off. Oh, horrible.
Maybe there might be some lessons learned about punching doors through a chicken wire in them.
Yeah.
It was just so bizarre, wasn't it? So we just did not expect it at all. We just thought we were going down to a basic criminal damage, and then to find so much blood and then a random knuckle in the midst of all the glass
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
just weird.
Because it's one of those jobs that if it had have been on the log that there was a load of blood there, people would have been like, oh, I'm good.
Running out the door. Yeah.
We get there and we're like, oh, interesting, great. We've got some DNA here straight away. And then to find that was just the cherry on top. The knuckle on top.
The knuckle on top of her.
Said no one ever.
Yeah. Oh my God. This just reminded me of another case. We seem to get quite funny DNA cases, don't we?
We do.
There's one that came in as a bloke potentially playing with himself in a car park.
Yeah.
And again, nobody seemed that keen on going down to this. So we were like, we'll go and have a trundle down.
Yeah.
And the information that we got was that the guy had been accused by a number of people in the car park. So he's in this shopping centre car park, parked up essentially. There's really ridiculously, I can't believe he didn't think of it. There's a police station behind him.
It was literally a 2-minute walk from the police station, wasn't it?
Yeah, the bobbies didn't even have to do anything. They just had to walk across the car park and they
We'll
were
not
there.
even get in the car for this one. We'll just walk
Just
down.
walk across. So there's a police station, also a busy shopping centre. It's quite a compact area.
For any of our Northeast listeners, it was the Washington Galleries shopping centre, wasn't it?
Yeah. And this guy had been accused by a couple of members of the public. They thought that he was touching himself and looking at children and people in the car park and basically enjoying himself more than he should be, very inappropriately in said car park. And so it came in for us to go down and have a look. And the guy he'd been arrested, the police had walked him to the police station.
Yeah.
And they asked us to take a look, and we were a bit kind of confused because we were like, well, we'll have to.
Anything to look at.
Yeah. Like, have you had a look yourselves? And they said, oh, we've had a quick look. We can't really see anything. And the story that this guy had given is that because when the police came, his trousers were undone, weren't they?
They were.
And
yeah,
he was a bit of a big fella, and he'd said that he had his lunch and his trousers were a bit tight, so he'd just undone his trousers.
Yeah, he said, I'm just fat, didn't he? He said, I'm just fat and I've eaten and I was uncomfortable, so I've undone my trousers. That's why they're undone.
In all fairness, though, sometimes when we go out for tea, we do.
All the time. All the time, the trousers are undone when I get back in the car. But not being inappropriate in the car.
In the car, yeah. We've said over and over, we need to wear stretchy trousers. So anyway, we like, okay, we'll come and have a look. We're not sure what use or help we're going to be, especially if you've had a look yourselves and you can't see anything in there. So the police had been in and had a look, hadn't they? I don't even know where they'd looked or what they'd done. But we arrive at this scene and there's a police officer still on scene, and he's quite young and quite new in. And he was a lovely lad. but we were a bit, I was going to say mean, we were just pranking him a little, weren't we?
Yeah, because he was actually one of our colleagues' boyfriends at the
At the
time as
time
well,
he
wasn't
was,
he?
yeah.
So I thought we're going to have some fun here.
Well, we opened the side of this van door, and I don't think the police must have opened it or looked previously, because as we opened it, just the largest amount of sperm kind of rolled down the side of the van, rolled down onto the step, and then out onto the floor and dropped into the car park. And we just watched this entire thing in slow motion.
It was disgusting.
We were gobsmacked, weren't we?
Absolutely disgusting. The quantity, I've never seen anything like it.
It was a significant amount, it has to be said. It
It
was
was
shocking.
huge.
I was thinking maybe there's more than one puddle, maybe. It just kind
Oh,
of
God.
glooped together. I don't know. It was
Oh,
disgusting.
God.
But anyway, so we were like, how could you have missed this? Like, that is a lot of sperm. And then the young copper goes to us, so is it definitely sperm? And we said, well, we don't know. We've got to do a presumptive test to make sure it is sperm. And he said, oh, you've got one of those. And we were like, well, kind of, yeah. And he's like, how do you do it? What did you say?
Well, first, we'll do a sniff test.
Yeah.
And we might have to do a taste test.
His face.
He went green, didn't he?
Yeah.
Absolutely green. And then his jaw was just hanging open. And then he was like, seriously?
We were like, no, not
So,
seriously. Oh, it was
no.
funny, but it was a
Oh,
little bit mean, wasn't it? His
it was a
face
little
was
bit.
pure gold.
Oh, come on. His girlfriend's a CSI and he thinks that we're going to do a sniff and a taste test on semen in a crime scene.
In the middle of a car park.
He was asking for it. And we did do a presumptive test.
We did.
Even though, and
And
I think you could tell what it was. But
well, yeah,
we
but
did
we
a
always do our
presumptive
job
test.
properly.
Exactly.
We
So we did a
photographed everything
test.
appropriately. We did the presumptive test. It tested
Yeah.
positive for semen.
Yeah. So we went
We
in there and
swabbed
swabbed it up. And it got
And
took back.
in fairness, it was proof and evidence that the guy had been touching himself in the vehicle, and his
Yeah.
excuse of "I'm just fat, so I'd undone my trousers" was a lie. He had
Yeah.
actually been sat in the car park of a really busy car park
Yeah.
next to a police station, playing with
Maybe-
himself.
Maybe that
What
was
a
part of the
lunatic.
thrill for him. Next to the
Maybe.
police station, lots of people about. So you do
Yeah.
get people like that, don't you? I think that probably was part of the thrill for him. But yeah, but it was an interesting one, and we did chuckle for a little while about that.
It was. And we did, didn't we? But we seem to get the random DNA ones, don't we? That was a
We
knuckle,
do.
a whole heap of semen.
Yeah.
I
And
think the thing is, people have only got our word for it and what we're saying, and it's really difficult to describe the actual quantity and the way it moved down from
yeah,
the van and out.
yeah, I can still see it going over the door ledge,
Yeah.
and then over the door seal, like every little lip that it went over at, and still visualize it to this day.
I think I can still see our faces, like our jaws were on the floor, and then we just looked at each other as if to say, "What to fuck?"
Yeah.
Dear me. Keeping in theme seems how we seem to have gone down a quite a disgusting theme already. Do you remember that stabbing we went to where the bloke had peed in a bucket?
Oh God. Yes. This one was disgusting as well, wasn't it? And for nothing to do with the crime.
Oh, no. It was so just random, really.
Yeah. So for this one, we were called to a stabbing within a flat, and it involved two males, and there was a female there as well. And they'd had some drinks, they'd had a takeaway, and then the two males had got into some form of argument. and then one of them ended up stabbing the other one.
Yeah.
So when we got to the scene, it was a bit like a bloodbath, this one, wasn't it? There was a lot
A
of
lot of
blood.
blood.
A hell of a lot of blood.
Often when alcohol's involved, though, it thins the blood, doesn't it? So if somebody gets injured.
Yeah, it does.
And it was just everywhere, wasn't it? The front room.
Oh, it was
particular.
awful. It was everywhere. And then there was a dark leather settee, and you could just see it kind of like pooled and clotting on there as well, couldn't you? It was gross. But amazing for how much blood was there. They actually thought he was going to be okay. So it wasn't going to turn into a murder or anything like that. They managed to stabilise him before we got down there. So we knew we weren't dealing with a murder. It was a serious assault, effectively.
Yeah. But they believed that the murder weapon, the knife, was still inside the crime scene, didn't they?
They did.
And so basically we were to go down and take photographs, but we were also searching this knife. And we searched all over, really, and we did eventually find it. So after the guy had stabbed his friend, he went and hid the knife in the cistern of the toilet, didn't he? And we found it in there.
We did, yeah.
Pleased with ourselves because we found it.
Yeah, it's always nice when you find something like that, isn't it? When you know it's got to be in here somewhere.
It is. But what's really random is that this sticks out for us because of what else was in that scene. So as we're searching, of course, we had to photograph all rooms and search all rooms, and we're looking for the weapon. So we're going to the bedroom, and this flat's not very big at all, is it?
No, you had like the front door and then the hallway. You had the bedroom off, the bathroom off, they were pretty much opposite each other, weren't they? And then you came out at the end door into the sitting room, and that had a little door into the kitchen, didn't it?
Yeah, so it was essentially like a T, wasn't it? With the corridor running down the middle, bedroom to the left, bathroom to the right. And like you said, the bedroom and bathroom are pretty much directly opposite each other. And because it's such a small flat, you're talking about 5-6 strides, if that.
Yeah, if that.
And yet, in the bedroom of this flat was a massive bucket just filled with pee.
Yeah.
And not just pee, but cigarette ends as well.
It was gross. It was like a full bucket as well. It was full to the brim, wasn't it?
It stunk. So rather than like taking 5 strides to the bathroom, this guy's actually just peeing in a bucket next to his bed.
Oh, and then he must have been lying in bed having his tabs as well and putting them out in
the tabs
the bucket.
in the pee bucket.
It stunk, and God knows how long it took to fill. It was very murky, wasn't it? This bucket.
Murky. Oh dear.
Murky. It's like dirty pond water.
Oh, that's graphic. It was though.
It really was. Yeah, it was disgusting. And you made sure you photographed that as well, didn't you?
I did. I mean, I was photographing the whole scene, and that was part of the crime scene. And as far as I'm concerned, that bucket was a crime scene.
It was a crime scene in itself.
In and of itself, it was. I mean, the thing is we have a vague recollection of that stabbing and the people involved and what we did there. But actually, the detail of it and what puts us back there is that bucket.
Yeah. And it's one of the things that we've talked about in previous podcasts that I think when you go into this, it's one of the things you don't think about, that actually you're going into people's homes and everybody lives very differently. And some of the sights you see within in people's homes just shocks you, doesn't it? Because it's not a way you would live. So it's always quite interesting. And that brings us to another story that I can remember.
Go on then.
Yet again, another one we went to, because we're covering all ones we've done together today. So can you remember we got called to a lead theft from a house in Sunderland?
I know where you're going. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going with this one. So we got called there. We went and we were stood in the garden and we were having a look up to this window, and it was kind of, there's like a little porch bit that comes down, and it was underneath the bedroom window, and you could see all the lead had been stolen from that. So firstly, we were stood outside in the garden with the victim looking up at it. And this firstly got interested.
No, that's the wrong word. It wasn't interesting. It was traumatic.
Angie's going to start twitching soon talking about this one. Yeah. So we're stood in the garden and we're speaking to the victim and we're looking up and deciding what we're going to do. And then all of a sudden, Angie's kind of shuffling about.
And on my tiptoes.
Hey, what you doing? And look over and realise that the pet dog.
It was a big dog. It was a big Alsatian, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was
It
a
was-
big Alsatian.
It was tall.
Yeah. And it took a real interest in Ange. What was it doing, Ange?
Well, it had approached and it was just having a sniff. So I'd given it a little rub on its head. And then really quickly that turned and it shoved its nose straight up my crotch. But very quickly and it was quite hard. So I was shocked and I was up on my tiptoes and I'm trying to back away from the dog. But it was
Being assaulted
almost
by the dog.
it was almost like I was hooked on the end of its nose.
I can still see Angie's face when I realised what was going on.
Yeah, I could still see yours. You just started laughing.
Yeah, I just started howling because I was trying, well, I was remaining professional speaking to the victim, and then I looked and seen what was going on, and I'm like trying to keep this laughter in. But Angie's face was just hilarious. But then
Listen.
I must have found it too funny.
Yeah, because you turned your back and we're talking to the victim while I'm trying to get down and get away from this dog.
Give her a step ladder.
Yeah, but the dog got you.
Yeah, it changed focus, and while I had my back to it, it decided it was going to come up behind me and do the same thing, hook its nose under my bum and kind of shoved me up onto my tiptoes as well.
The weirdest thing was about this is that the victim didn't call the dog back and
No.
didn't bat an eyelid.
No, it was like it was completely normal
And we were
for this
like,
to happen to guests.
can you take your dog away, please?
We quickly thought, okay, we couldn't actually reach from the outside, could we? But
No.
we said we'll go and have a look there was a window just outside of where this lead had been stolen. So like, can we come inside and we'll have a look down and see if there's anything we can do, if there's any cut marks, potentially if they've touched the window frame or anything like that. We'll come and have a look from inside. So we think we're escaping this dog.
Oh my goodness.
We go inside the property, and this is where it links in with this, how other people live. As we get inside the property, there was mounds of dog poo everywhere. Wasn't there? Absolutely everywhere.
They said in unison. I think we both just went back there, didn't we?
Yeah, I can still smell it.
Smell it
like,
and see it.
And I love dogs, but it's not the nicest bit about them that you have to pick that up, is it? But to have that in your home, But then I think we were trying to step over it, and then I remember the woman said, "Oh, sorry about that. He must have just done that." There was ones in the corner that were white and mouldy. It was like, I'm sorry, but he has not just done that.
It's not fresh.
Also, if he can do this many shits in a small period of time, I think you need to change what you're feeding him and take him to the vet. So they were just like...
Of course, just for clarification, we didn't say that. That's what's running through our heads.
This is the internal monologue going. But you're looking like, oh, okay. But they didn't even seem embarrassed or ashamed. They were just like, oh, sorry, he's just done that. So anyway, we're stepping over all these...
It's like a little assault course, like trying to avoid them, wasn't it?
I mean, it was a good workout, getting up them stairs on your tiptoes, avoiding each one. It was disgusting.
Watching where you were putting your hands.
Oh, God. Oh, you wouldn't put your hands anywhere, would you? So we got in anyway.
So I just remembered and she went, "Do you want a cup of tea?"
Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you.
No, thank you.
Very kind, but no, thank you.
I'm good. I'm all right, thank you.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Yeah, we cracked on and we did the job anyway. And I don't think there was anything actually to get from that one from recollection. I remember more about the incidents that happened within than the crime scene again in this.
That's the thing, isn't it? Sometimes crime scenes stand out for different reasons other than the actual crime itself. I can't remember.
Exactly.
I know that we photographed because we photograph everything, but I don't recall anything else like you. I just recall the trauma of being hooked on the end of the dog's nose and then wading through the assault course of dog poo.
But there was another bit of trauma within that as well, wasn't there?
I can't remember. I hope not.
Yeah, there was. You stood in one on the way out.
Oh, yeah.
You normally
Yeah.
wipe your feet to go into people's houses, and was literally having to wipe her feet coming out of this house.
That's
because
true.
you managed to actually hit
Standing
one on the
one.
way back down the
Yeah,
stairs.
that's true. It was not a fresh one, was it? It was middle-aged, I'd say.
Middle-aged.
Wasn't quite white and dry. That would have been the preference, but it wasn't fresh and squidgy. It was, yeah, middle-aged, I think. And I was wiping my feet on the way out. We got into the van, didn't we? And then we drove off. And then we just, again, like, were to flirt, but then we were laughing.
Yeah.
We were
You've got
laughing.
to laugh at these things.
I think it was more at each other's faces as the dog had assaulted us.
Yeah, both assaulters go and log a complaint when we get back.
I said, I'm never going to be the same again. Don't know that I'm ever going to walk the same again. And I'm now terrified of Alsatians. I'm not. I'm not.
But yeah, that was a good one. Funny. This is the thing. So many of these things are just so unexpected and are things that you don't think are gonna be part of your day.
I know, and it's really hard, isn't it? Because you never know what's going on in somebody else's life.
No,
so you try not to judge, and we're not there to be judgmental. We're there to record the facts and the scene. But sometimes you are shocked and taken aback, and the humour breaks some of that for you.
Yeah.
It has to, otherwise I'm not sure you'd be able to go from job to job to job.
No.
Because we were straight on to another job after that.
Oh yeah. Straight on, crack on again.
After I'd washed my boots down. Sanitise my boots.
Blanche, you're not getting back in the van. You're going to have to hang your legs out the window.
All day, you stink.
I can still visualise everything about that scene again as well. I can put myself right back there.
I'm in the garden as we speak. My toes are actually up.
You got your toes curled now.
Toes are up and my legs are crossed. I'm squeezing everything tight.
You're not getting back in.
But it was so fun. Like, I can still see your face looking at my face, looking at me stuck. And the whole thing was just hilarious. Because I'm looking at you like, help, Dion, help. And all you could do was laugh. So when the dog turned around and got you back, I was like,
that was payback, really.
That really
it?
was.
It was payback.
And then I was just stood behind you, really smoking, laughing my head off. But again, like the surreal thing was the victim just never batted a single eyelid, never cracked a smile, never shouted the dog back or away from us. Literally said, "Oh, sorry about that poo. We must have just done that." What, like, but all with a straight face. And you're thinking, but like you say, you never know what's going on in somebody else's life. It's not about judgment, but it is about finding the humour in the most absurd situations.
You have to, don't you?
Yeah.
And like you say, sometimes other people's reactions make it even more humorous because, like, for that victim just to completely ignore what's going on
Everything.
And like blinkers on, like, I'm just not paying any attention. That made it all the more funny.
It really, well, it did, didn't it? Because we were like, are you seeing what we're seeing? Like, are we in a different universe? This is bizarre.
Yeah. And that, speaking about people's reactions, brings us on to another job that I can remember. And this one is it's a bit sad as well, but the humour that came out of it. Do you?
I think I do know where you're going, yeah. This is a sad one.
It is. So this one, we'd been called to the death of an old lady. We get called in these instances just to go and check there isn't anything suspicious or anything like that. They didn't think there was in this case, so it was just the two of us going and having a look.
Yeah, we're essentially photographing the body and also photographing the face for identification for the coroner. So the coroner's
Yeah.
got a record, and then checking the body to make sure that there's no injury and it's definitely not suspicious, essentially.
Yeah. And for this one, very sadly, the old lady had passed away, but she had, I can't remember if it was dementia or
I
Alzheimer's,
think she had dementia.
dementia. And she had took to going outside to use the toilet. She did have a working toilet in the house, but for some reason she kept going outside into her garden.
She
And
like created an outside toilet, hadn't she, on a tree stump?
there was like a tree stump, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that so vividly. There was a toilet stump. A toilet stump.
A
It
toilet
became
stump.
one. There was a tree stump that she kept going out and going to the toilet on. And on this occasion, she'd fully taken all of her clothes off and then went out to go and use the tree stump as the toilet. And she'd passed away out there, hadn't she?
Yeah, sadly. I don't know if she'd been up and dressed that day because she did have carers and people coming in
She
to
did.
help her. It was them that alerted the police to her death when they'd got
Yeah.
there. They
Yeah.
often say that when somebody's close to death, it feels like you need to go to the toilet because everything's shutting down, essentially. It feels like everything's going
Yeah.
to come away. So a lot of people do actually die on the toilet, don't they?
Yeah, there's a lot found like that, isn't there?
Yeah,
Sadly.
but this was heartbreaking because she, like you said, had gone to the loo and had no clothes on, and then she'd fallen forward in the garden and was laid face down, completely naked in a garden, wasn't she? And it was a bit heartbreaking.
It was really sad. But we went and we were taking photographs and we were checking her over and we were happy. There was nothing suspicious there, was it?
Yeah.
It was natural causes. So we're just taking some photographs, like Ange says, we need these for the coroner and a record of how she's been found. So we were taking that, and all of a sudden we heard this really strange noise, and it was like
Scrabbling at the
scrambling,
fence,
wasn't it?
wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was really weird scrambling. So we kind of froze, we stopped, and there's the two of us and a police officer there as well, isn't there, who's got a blanket that we can use to protect the person's dignity. So if anyone was trying to look out from windows from one of the neighbouring houses, for example, the police officer could move their position so that they can't see the body, and that's what they were doing there.
We're just trying to give some dignity, really, weren't we? Bless
Yeah,
her.
exactly. It's important. So we hear this scrambling at the fence. We all kind of freeze
It
and
was
look
really
over.
loud, though, wasn't it? It was
Oh,
bizarre.
so
It was a weird
loud.
noise, and it was really loud.
Really loud. So we stopped and we're just looking, aren't we? We kind of froze, look over to where the noise is coming from.
See what's going on.
Yeah, what's happening? And all of a sudden, this woman's head appears over this fence. One of the neighbours.
Forget it.
And she looks over, she looks at us, she looks at the body on the floor and starts screaming, "She's been murdered! She's been murdered! There's been a murder!" And then she scrambles back down the fence again and runs off. And all we can hear is this, "She's been murdered," getting quieter as she goes into the distance.
Yeah.
And we're like, what the hell? And the police officers just still stood looking at us. But while this is going on, we're like, give her the blanket. Give her the blanket.
Let's cover
Because
her.
we were going to cover her over. But the police officer was just frozen in shock of what was going on.
I was so shocked.
We were ended up like taking the blanket off them to cover her. And then this woman gets down and starts making off.
Well, it's that once we
screaming.
covered it, it's when she got down, wasn't it? Once we covered the body, took the blanket and covered the body.
Yeah.
She then got down and carried on running, like you
Scrambles.
said.
Yeah, running like the wind, screaming she's been murdered. And again, the police officers just stood there looking at us at this point. We're like, do you want to go and have a word with her? I think you need to deal with that.
We're like, we think you might need to go and make sure she's okay and check on her. Like, we're all right here. We'll finish up here. But
Because
we
it
need
is
to
a
go and
shock
check
seeing
on
a
her.
body, isn't it, as well? Especially if it's something you've not seen before, you're not expecting. That was that lady's neighbour. So it is a shock.
It is, yeah. But also, I don't know if she thought that we'd killed her either. That was the thing.
She's running away from us.
But it turned out then she'd gone onto the front and she ran up and down the street in her nightclothes just screaming, "There's been a murder! There's
Yeah.
been a murder! She's been murdered! My neighbour's been killed!" Running up and
Yeah.
down, wasn't she?
She
And we
was
were like,
hysterical, wasn't she? Absolutely hysterical, and make a scene in the street where other people are starting to think, "Oh my God, somebody's been
what's
murdered." Well,
happening?
it has. Nobody's been murdered.
Nobody's been murdered. It's all fine. It's all good.
Can we all calm down, please?
So we were there for quite a bit of time. We did what we needed to do, and then the funeral directors had arrived to recover the body to the funeral home, and we were going out to get in our van, and this woman comes running at us, doesn't she?
Oh,
It was
God.
like she was just running directly at us, and we were like,
Yeah, she'd escaped the clutches of the police officer who'd been calming her down in the house and escaped out into the front street yet again.
We were like, get in the van, drive.
Getaway driver, getting some practice in.
I'd have gone fast, but my foot fell off the pedal because of the dog shit. That's a joke. It wasn't the same day. It was a joke.
As long as you didn't stand in some of the human one that was there.
Oh, no. Oh, that one was really sad. That was heartbreaking, wasn't it?
It was sad, just because she was just this little old lady, bless her. But just that with the neighbour, you just don't expect these things. So again, it brings that humorous element into it that breaks you out of the sadness of what you're actually dealing with.
Yeah, and I think it's our WTF faces that are kind of permanently on, like, what's going on? Is this actually happening? No.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yes, it is.
Yeah, it was an interesting one. And again, can put ourselves straight back there, can see everything about that again.
Me too. I think it's been good to look back and reflect on some of these things today because we did them double crewed, we did them working together, and this is, like we said earlier, our anniversary special. And
yeah,
we started this podcast for our love of crime scene, but also often true crimes about the big cases and how they're solved and, digging into detail of them, which is, of course, interesting. But the truth is, this is also true crime.
yeah,
And it's not always the big cases. Sometimes it's just some of the absurdities of life. And they're also under the barrier tape. What we're chatting about today is the reality of it.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? The realities, the side that when people get into this line of work is the stuff you don't really think about that you're going to be getting into. And apparently we've got into all sorts.
Yeah. In fairness, we've got quite a few more, but I think we should maybe, leave it there for this episode and save some, maybe do another episode like this at another point and save some of those double crewed joint stories that have bonded our relationship and humour and trauma.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Shared
we're trauma bonded. We're trauma bonded. So why we can't leave each other.
Yeah, people have tried to separate us many a time since we've had all of this work together. It's just not happening, is it? We just won't allow it.
We get fuming when anyone tries to split us up. I don't think so.
And this is some of the absurd things that have happened to us while we've been working in the police force. But actually, we've had so many things that have happened even outside of the force as well, haven't we? We've had many a thing happen.
Yeah. I'm just going through the Rolodex now, so we'll save this for a different episode as well.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Dee and I have been to Libya a number of times for work, but it was with our training and events business, and a number of insane things happened there.
Yeah. There's some of the disaster stuff we've done, and even some of the personal life stuff, really. We seem to attract these sort of stories.
And I have to say, I'll just finish on this. People have tried to separate us, and we've always said no. But actually, Dion did try and kill me once. And this is where the Dion might have
From
started. And it was when we
yeah,
were out on an air disaster, and we were
yeah.
taking some rubbish from a big airport hangar down to the bottom of the airport and dropping it off. And there was so much of it, we were like, right, we'll put it all in the car. It'll be quicker if we do it together. And
Because it was
because
only 2 minutes, wasn't it, as
it was
well?
2 minutes down an air, like there was no traffic about. We were not on a main road. It was I don't know how
It
to
was an
describe it.
enclosed
Enclosed.
secure yard, wasn't it, where
That's
the
it.
hangar was? Yeah.
So we puts all the rubbish in. We jump in the car. Dee's in the driver's seat. I guess we're just in an enclosed space, going 2 minutes that way. Did not put my seatbelt on.
Mistake it to make it. Security first, always. So it's
Well,
not really my fault.
it's not. I'm responsible for my own health and safety. I should have known that from all my training over the years. As we get towards the bin, Dion, for some reason, decided to have a lead foot, whacked the brake on.
Well, it's because I forgot that I was driving an automatic, so
Oh,
I
that was
thought I was covering the clutch. I'd never driven an automatic before. I went to hover over my clutch to slow nice and slowly. But no, it was the brake, and we came to a dead stop, and Ange went flying.
did an emergency stop and almost put me through the windscreen.
I did. But what was funny as well, I went to put me up when I realised what I'd done and I could see what felt like slow motion Ange going forward. I went to put my arm out to try and stop her from going forward. It was never going to happen, but I tried.
You did try. At least you tried to save
And
me after you tried to kill me.
you just missed your head off the dashboard as well, didn't you? And she just went, Dion, what are you doing? And by that stage, I was doubled over onto the steering wheel, absolutely crying my eyes out with laughter.
I was just crying my eyes out, shaking, terrified for my life. Dion, why are you trying to kill me?
She walked back to the hangar. She wouldn't let us drive her back again. And he drove back to the hotel, I think, as well. She's like, I'm not getting back in there with her.
You need a little bit more practice on an automatic. That was funny. Oh, it just reminded me of the time you got pulled over and breathalyzed while we were abroad as well.
Oh, come on.
Maybe we'll leave that one for another day as well.
Yeah, you've got to come back for that story. Yes, we get up to all sorts of shenanigans. It's not just at crime scenes. Apparently, we can't be trusted in real life either.
Come on.
Anyway, I think it is a good place to leave that. And I hope people have found this entertaining and a bit light-hearted, but also getting to know us too and where our friendship came from and some of those stories we bonded over and, like you say, built that sense of humour around as well.
Yeah, and also, like we've just said, checking the realities of true crime, because it's not always those big cases. Sometimes it is these little crime scenes and stories that stand out for different reasons.
Yeah. So thank you so much to all of our listeners for continuing to tune in and being here with us on this journey, a year's journey. A lot of you have been there from the start. Some people have picked us up not too long ago, but have went back and listened to some of our older episodes as well. And we just really appreciate every listen, don't we?
We do. It means the world to us.
It does. Every listen, every follow, every review, every comment, it does. It really means the world. So on that, if you're enjoying what you're hearing, please remember to subscribe, give us a follow, drop us a written review or a comment on one of the episodes. Let us know what you're enjoying about it, because that's how we can learn and develop what you guys are really enjoying here. And so let us know what you're enjoying about it too.
Yeah, and the other thing is if anybody wants to cover anything in particular, again, if you drop that in our comments, we'll do our best and see what we can do. For the next year coming up as well, just as well as more from us too, we have got some more amazing guests coming up. It's set to be yet another fantastic year. So Please stay on the journey with us. And like Dee said, thank you to all of you for sticking with us so far.
Yeah, thank you. And we will be back in a fortnight's time with another episode for you where we will take you back under the barrier tape.